Damn it. All right, let's go.
Hello, everybody. This is Tim, and who's this?
Barnz. What's up, gamers?
How's it going, guys? This will be our second simulcast.
Woohoo!
From Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, GASPCON, and yeah, I'm going to be running a game here. I don't know, about a half hour, 20 minutes.
He just constantly runs games here.
Yeah, I'm a glutton for punishment.
They need other GMs here or something, so you guys should come up to Pittsburgh next year and maybe run a game so
whatever.
Tim could play.
I was happy that I got to meet one YouTuber.
Yeah, it was cool, definitely. And you know, it was really weird about YouTube. Like, you know, I did feel like I knew you, and like I always felt like you were like probably the nicest guy in the RPG community. No offense to anybody.
Thanks.
I always knew he's a little deviant, though.
Yeah, I do have a darker side that I don't always show people.
But yeah, we pretty much hit it off right away.
It's really kind of weird, like the interaction of YouTube and just, I don't know, seeing people's faces, seeing their body language. Yeah. I don't know what it is. It's just something. I don't know. You seem to be able to figure out a person pretty well. I don't know.
We've been having laughs the whole time we're here. Tonight we played in Tim's weird Pittsburgh game,
which I don't know you'll be able to see too well. But.
And this was my character, Joni. And Joni was a divorced cop, alcoholic. I threw a little bit in there. I said
you're pregnant.
I got knocked up before he left. I had I loved gin. That was my
vice of choice.
Yeah, vice of choice. And the game starts out with us, all the players living in this building complex, this apartment complex.
Yeah, apartment complex. Yeah.
And
it's a good way to kind of localize you guys, I guess.
We saw some UFOs in the sky. Was that the first thing that happened?
The first thing you saw was the dome of energy, basically going around the. It's the Golden Triangle of Pittsburgh. It's where the Monongahela River, the Allegheny River form to meet the Ohio. There's like Point State Park right there, and there's just like this like sphere that just comes up and envelops just that section, and everything else is just beyond their, I don't know, sight.
Yeah, it was like a force field, like kind of like what the Gungans used against, like, but over a whole entire city.
Like, yeah, like an energy field.
Energy field,
like that.
Yeah,
that works.
And there was these 7 UFOs in the sky.
Yeah, they just started circling. And
1 mothership and 6 UFOs, smaller UFOs that were surrounding it.
Yeah.
And then there was like an earthquake, right?
Well, they didn't realize this until later.
Right.
The aliens had basically cut out a sphere of Pittsburgh and started taking it up into space. Yeah, so every once in a while they'd be lurched left or right. Buildings started to collapse. All kinds of weird stuff. With gravity would be a little wonky in places.
And we ran the game in the basic role-playing system. Tim had wrote it in.
Yeah, I basically just used BRP, basic role-playing. All the options pretty much turned off. Basically stat skills. And I used mutations and psychic abilities. So those were the special gizmos and powers that you guys had to use to try to survive the aliens and what all the weird stuff was going
on. When Tim had done a review on basic role-playing, I was really interested, and I'm having some technical difficulties, people. What the hell is going on?
Oh, your internet's messing with you.
All right. And I was really interested by basic role-playing game, but then I found out it wasn't available in stores anymore. And
really? So, it's out of print?
I went to Barnes & Noble and they said that.
Oh, really? Huh. Maybe you just can't get it through there.
I
know you can get it off Chaosium's website.
Oh, you can? So it's still available. I thought maybe...
Chaosium does the Call of Cthulhu rules.
Right.
Yeah, so...
And basic role-playing was a D100 system. Yeah,
it's basically a D100 roll under. There's you can play BRP, very crunchy, lots of rules, lots of all the options turned on, or you can pretty much run it like I did. I like combine some skills. They have a pretty condensed skill list, and just use the mutations and psychic abilities. And really, the flavor I did for each character was their concept. So like he had an alcoholic, divorced cop.
Yeah.
There was like old cat lady that used to be a lawyer, and there was all kinds of shenanigans that happened with her. She had a moo-moo and she wasn't wearing anything underneath.
Yeah.
She had psychic abilities, and
that was a great character, actually.
My friend Jeff he's a really good role player. And
He was. He really was, man. He was a barrel of laughs. And again, it was another game that was a lot of fun. A lot of people were laughing. Actually, you had people crying from tears in this one.
Multiple times during the game, especially the girls. They were just crying, laughing hysterically. I had a girl that had only played one RPG previously, one session. She played like Star Wars last year. And she was worried that she wasn't going to understand things. I'm like, no, you just roll under these numbers with the D100. That's pretty much it. And she had a lot of fun.
And everybody got it pretty quick, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very intuitive. You look at okay, I have a firearms of 70. I have a 70% chance of shooting something.
D100.
Pretty much it. It's really
under
straightforward.
70 you hit.
Yeah, it's very intuitive. So what did you think of the concept of having 3 different character sheets and during periods of the game?
Well, we didn't have to level up or anything like that. We didn't have to power up or nothing. It was already done for us. And it helped the game move a little bit more fluidly, I think. And again, like, we only had one basic role-playing book, so you had written everything out for us. And,
yeah, like all the powers and everything I detailed on each character sheet.
So we didn't have to go into the book constantly. I thought that was a great idea, actually. And I got to look inside, but don't look inside. And each time we gained a new mutation. So, like, for instance, my character got covered in, had a natural weapon covered in bony spikes that I could shoot these spines as a ranged weapon.
Oh, you never did that, did you?
No, I never did. One around, and they deal 1d8 damage and have accurate range of 30 meters. I never did do that, only because my handgun...
Yeah, it was pretty accurate, too.
It was more accurate with my handgun. So, I thought maybe using it in like...
melee?
Yeah, grappling or something.
That would probably been pretty nasty. I also used UPS tape, like over 70 tape, which it was black and gold. That's because that's the colors of Pittsburgh. And Barnz is learning this is pretty much like a sports town, football town, hockey town.
Holy
like
cow.
He was a little scared at times. He's like, it's like a Pittsburgh cult.
Yeah, it really is, man. Yeah. New York has a lot of sports teams, and a lot of people come from all over New York, and like you got people in New York like the Cowboys. I don't understand that. Anyway, so yeah, it really is a sports town. They're really into it.
And I had to kind of translate for him at times, like player names from the Steelers and references. He's like,
there was
what's
references
that going on?
throughout.
Like in various games, I had to like translate local dialect, Pittsburghese for him, so things like that.
And I picked up some Pittsburghese. I actually tried to roleplay my character with the Pittsburgh accent, which was very difficult.
It was very admirable for you to attempt it. Using words like yuns instead of like you all or yunses. Red up to clean up things.
Jackal. Is that it?
What's that?
Jackal?
Oh, jagoff.
Jagoff.
Yeah, kind of a mixture of a jerk and an asshole.
I like that.
So don't be a jagoff.
Bring that back to New York with me.
All right.
So we the aliens appeared in the UFO, and we had noticed that the town didn't have a lot of movement in it. The only thing we saw movement was UPS trucks.
And that's another reason I used the UPS tape. I was going to have UPS sort of behind that or in collusion with the aliens. So they were like these modified UPS trucks with big snow plows, like the pointed kind on the front. So they, cars weren't operable. All the cars I didn't tell these guys that, but there was sort of like an EMP thing that went off. And
I did try to start my character's own personal car, and it didn't start. So
so no cars were working except for the UPS trucks. And what was driving those UPS trucks?
There was gray aliens that were attached biomechanically to the driving apparatus of the UPS truck, and. So they would control the UPS just by thought, I guess, right?
Thought, muscle movement, stuff like that.
Which we actually had to kind of commandeer a UPS truck, kind of.
Yeah, one of the characters started ripping things out of the alien after they shot it a bunch of times.
We shot it a bunch of times.
So they, basically made these UPS trucks, tough, but they didn't do anything with the windows, and they shot through the windows and killed the alien. What was in the back of the UPS trucks?
There was a pile of bodies stacked like a cord of wood on top of each other, and each body was still barely alive, but like a shell of their former selves, and they had UPS stamped on their forehead.
Well, no, the UPS tracking number.
The UPS tracking number. That's what it
The
was.
serial number, pretty much, like 1Z and all the letters and numbers afterwards. And they were like in a state of trance, coma, hibernation, something like that.
And so we really couldn't figure out what was wrong with them, but we did notice that they all had a connection, that they all had some kind of Native American blood in them.
Yeah, various degrees of,
And
that bloodline, I guess, whatever.
And
heritage.
Downtown, people were floating into the sky towards these UFOs.
Yeah, they were sort of floating in the air, spinning around. Anyone that basically... There were various people. There were some people that mutated into like these fish people that were swimming around in the rivers. These guys then started to change slightly. And we learned later the reason why is that they had implants behind their left eye.
Right.
At some point they were abducted.
But we didn't know that.
You didn't know that, so...
But the people that were floating in the sky, they were mostly Caucasian, correct?
Mostly Caucasian people were floating in the sky.
And they were getting slaughtered.
Yeah, they were basically being fired at, sort of like target practice. They were exploding, the bloody chunks were landing in the rivers, and the fish people were eating them.
And the hospital building, the largest building in Pittsburgh, had crumbled?
The UPMC building, it's basically the tallest building in Pittsburgh, crumbled and fell into the energy sphere, and basically when it touched it, it just crumbled into rocks and debris and just made a big pile, buried some stuff.
And in hindsight, that must have been from the
lurching of the sphere as it was going into space.
As Pittsburgh got picked up into space.
Yeah, as the Golden Triangle went literally into the heavens, so space, the void, whatever.
And so we got this UPS truck, and we finally got across the bridge, and there was a blockade of cars. And so we were planning on ramming it, and the character that was a wannabe gangster, he was really funny.
Yeah, he worked at like a fast food joint. He was like this polite kid that really likes gangster rap, and so he had this like polite persona and like I'm a hard ass persona, and they mixed the both together. It was kind of interesting.
When he shot his weapon, he shot it like this. So we had we were just gonna ram the blockade when we got within like a few feet of it. All of a sudden, like telekinetically, all the cars started to lift up in the air and out of our way, and we actually found out that the UPS truck was like rigged to do that.
Yeah, and they had noticed there was lots of UPS trucks that had already gone over the bridge before them, and that just happened to work out to their benefit.
And so from the bridge vantage point, we were able to see that at the what is it? The park?
Point State Park is a little triangle park right at the edge of where the rivers meet.
The three rivers meet.
Yeah.
And
that's right. One of the characters was able to astral project himself to the point. There was this large drill, probably like 60 feet tall, that was later connected to energy beams that were bouncing around from the UFO ships, and there's like it's almost like they were feeding energy from the underground river that they later learned about.
Later learned about that.
Yeah.
So then we decided that we had to stop this drill, and some of the characters went on like basically like suicide runs with explosives. I decided to use I had gained a new ability, and I just got to show.
Maybe it's too bright. I don't know if you can get that on there or not. Maybe turn it slightly.
I got it, I think. And I'll show your viewers as well.
Yeah, just kind of turn it till you get it.
This is my character. My character grew a tail after having spikes on it. And I could grab things with the tail and hang on to things. I used it a couple times. And I also gained the empathy psychic ability, where I could read the emotional states of creatures or sentient beings, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. That's when you touched 2 UPS trucks.
That was my psychometry.
Psychometry, okay.
And with the psychometry ability, I was able to do psychic readings of objects. And I could tell some details about the objects, either what they were used for or just details about the object, where they've been, maybe who held them or whatever.
Yeah, you basically learned a little bit more about the plot of the aliens, what they were up to.
That part, I think you must have had like written out ahead of time, because you were like that when I touched the UPS trucks. I got to get a reading off them.